My name's Martin Daswell and I'm 56 years old. In December 94 I was diagnosed HIV positive. This at the time was before combination therapy was around, so it was a death sentence. Then in August 1996, triple combination therapy was the way forward, and I was lucky enough to be the second person at St Mary's to be prescribed this combination therapy. The medication always works, but I suffer from a series of rather horrendous side effects, which include Johnson-Stevens syndrome, which is a skin rash and peel a whole layer of skin off your whole body. I also suffered an anaphylactic shock on another of the drugs. I developed an irregular heart rhythm on another of the drugs. I've also been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and celiac disease. I've also been diagnosed with depression, which comes and goes and actually is quite common for people with HIV.
My name's Tina. I've just had my 57th birthday. Aged 25. I was applying to get into the army as a nurse. And at that time, all I had was a back injury, nothing else. But the person running the back pain clinic, he told me that I had anti-nuclear factor, I was ANF positive. And I didn't know the significance of that. Meantime, I got into the army. I didn't think that was significant, didn't know what it meant, so I didn't tell anyone. Then one day, my hands just seized up. I could not move them, I could not do anything. At that stage, I went to see a rheumatologist. And when I told her that I was anti-nuclear factor positive, she just said to me, "You've got lupus, here's the book." And I did not know what had hit me. Over the coming months, I ended up with some more arthritis and some renal disease. I started losing my hair. There was also a learned helplessness and an identity of being sick as well. I would introduce myself as, "I've got lupus," and I would talk to you for 3 hours before I told you my name. I didn't tell you what my job was or anything else. My whole identity was lupus.
My name is Roy Alcock. I'm 60 years of age. I've had 2 heart attacks. I had the first one when I was 37 years old, the second one when I was 50. I'm also diabetic. I found out about 16 years ago that I was type 2 diabetic. I've rheumatoid arthritis. I have neuropathy in my feet, which is a part of the diabetes problem, but is extremely painful, causes the feet to swell up and all that sort of thing. I was told by the heart surgeon I last spoke to that I had vascular disease in my legs as well. So it's basically, I think, a combination. Heart and diabetes are causing all my problems.
I'm Carol and I live in Southwark with my son Sean. I've got a 3-bedroom disabled house, which I love. I went to see the doctor then, she diagnosed me with diabetes too. They were doing tests and everything. And one of the doctors came around and said, "Oh, your kidneys ain't working, we can't give you certain tablets that would help you in other problems." I've also got asthma, but the breathing I thought was down to the asthma, but apparently it's all connected in it. But the heart was sort of making the breathing worse as well. So I take about 8 tablets in the morning. That's not counting the painkillers, that's just 8 tablets. I take 1 in the afternoon and 1 in the evening, and then of course my painkillers and my warfarin on top of that. So it's a lot of medication.
Oh, well, I've been in this country 59 years. I came over here in 1957, October. I started off with blood pressure, and the tablets started causing me to have all different things. The statins was given to me to prevent me getting a heart attack, and then he stopped me having them because it was affecting my kidneys.
I average 50 medical appointments a year and have done since 2000. Because I have treatment at St Mary's, Paddington, but I've also have some guys in St Thomas's, and my GP is in Rotherhithe, South East London, in Southwark. It meant that not always did all the messages get through and all the results get through. So, because my background's of accountancy, I make sure that I get a copy of any results and I take them around with me. For healthcare, I believe it's a three-way street. There is my consultant, there is my GP, and there is myself. And between the three of us, we decide what's best for me. I am part of that decision making.
I see healthcare as a partnership. I do not like doctors that just go tell me what to do and don't tell me what they found. You know, I know what's best for you, here's your prescription, off you go. I feel that there's an onus on me to diagnose myself before I go to the doctor. I've been told I have to book a double appointment, so I wait weeks to get a double appointment. I write down all the things I need to say, but I don't get time. I'm told I'm only allowed to mention 2 symptoms. But if you've got a problem like lupus or you've got a backache and they all add up, and there's more than one symptom. During my periods of ill health, I have been on occasion for some months averaging 2 to 3 appointments a week for months on end. Today I'm having a lung function test. I have these tests about once a year as a routine screening, and so I'm not expecting anything bad to come of it.
When I'm with the doctor, I very rarely ask questions. I just sit there and go, yeah, okay, bye-bye. I don't go, but what about this and what about that, and should I do this and should I do that? They're the professionals, so let them sort it.
Well, they know their job, I don't. It's no good me saying, oh, no, I won't bother with that, and it's something that I really need. I don't know. So if the doctor or the nurse whatever say that I need it, then I need it. They've all got their separate bits they've trained and learned with. So they know more about the one thing and not so much about the whole thing.
You know, sometimes they have these stand-in doctors and they don't know much about my background. And my doctor look on the computer and he see that they prescribe something that is no good for me. He said, listen there, you can't have that tablet, so. He's very, very good. They put in things in medical terms and I don't understand. They put on renal, I didn't even know what renal meant. But my doctor said they want to see me about my kidneys.
I don't expect them to go through all these medical, technical terms with me because I wouldn't understand what they were saying anyway. I'll get letters, you know, like say these letters that you get when you've been to an hospital. It might well be in Chinese as far as I'm concerned. I don't understand any of it. With the diabetes, I know that I need to lose weight. I do try, but it don't work. Sure, try and lose a bit of weight, try and do a bit of exercise. But when you walk with a stick and your legs are constantly hurting you, you can't do any exercise really. It's too much, you know. There is also one major problem with dieting and eating what you should and shouldn't eat. That is the financial side of it.
When I went to a kidney appointment to give me some exercises to do, but my breathing, I just couldn't do them. No, I did try, but you can't do it.
Part of the way I try and look after myself, both mentally and physically, is I try and at least have one day a week that I have nothing to do. And that day, if I want to, I lay on the sofa all day and do absolutely nothing. I also try and have medical-free weeks. So I might try and book 2 or 3 appointments in the same week, that allowing me to have what I term as my medical-free week.
There is times when you think, why have I got so much, you know? Why is it always me? And You do get down, but then you've got to look at it. At the end of it, you get better and you think, well, you know, you can carry on.
I was at the diabetic clinic a while back and I was just chatting to a nurse, just in general, you know, having a little laugh and a little joke, whatever. And she said to me, "You're clinically depressed." So I went, "No, I'm not." She said, "Yes, you are." And she asked me a couple of questions. And before I knew what was going on, she was handing me a box of tissues because I was in tears. You think to yourself, blokes don't get depressed, it's only women that get depressed. It's all because of, obviously, because of the things you've got wrong with you. And keeping having to go to the hospital and keeping having to take tablets. It all gets you down after a while. I want to be able to get up and go fishing, go and see my grandson, see him grow up, have a few more grandchildren, be nice. But no, I'm not expecting anything special.